I will share with you 7 easy steps to become a digital nomad so that you can leave the rat race for good, travel the world, working remotely, doing what you love. I have been a digital nomad for over 2 years now, and it's the best thing ever. It literally is. I could never go back to working in a cubicle like I used to do. Number 1 is get inspired. You might have heard that you are a result of the people you have around you. So it's so important to be part of a community. Otherwise, it will feel very lonely, and it's very easy to get back into old habits, like getting an office job. And yeah, your parents might tell you need to get a real job. But if you have a supporting community, then it will be so much easier, trust me. So what you can do is you can join meetup groups, you can join Facebook groups. For example, I have the Facebook group Digital Nomad Women. A book I can highly recommend is Vagabonding by Rolf Potts. It really shatters the myth that you have to be rolling in money to be able to travel long term. Another must read is, of course, The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, which is actually the book that inspired me to become a digital nomad. You can also follow digital nomads on Instagram, such as my account, which is at the Spirit Nomad. Step number 2, identify what you are good at and your passions. So you might feel like, oh, I have no skills that I can use as a digital nomad. Well, that is completely wrong. Everyone has some kind of passion, and you can teach that passion to other people, right? You can create an online course, you can create a book, an ebook, or a YouTube channel teaching it. You can become a freelancer and help people, coach people in your hobby, whether that is a video game like Dota, or it could be gardening or art, whatever that might be. You can teach it to someone. Another really great one that a skill we all have is language. You probably know some kind of language, right? And you can teach this language to other people. So one thing I do to get income is teach Swedish. So there are platforms like Verbling or italki. Italki is the one I use, and a few others where you can teach language online. You also want to identify your hard and soft skills. Soft skills is like more about personality, like your strengths and weaknesses. For example, if you're social or if you're a good listener. And the hard skills is more like what you learned in school, what you have professional experience in. So look at all of this, like what you're passionate about, your hard and soft skills, and what you've learned, like your experience. Step 3 is build your new skills. So now that you have identified what you want to do as a digital nomad, it's time to build those skills. And there are many ways you can build skills. One is to go to university and take courses there, but that is not necessary anymore. I think there's very few professions where you need a university degree nowadays. There are so many online platforms out there. I can highly recommend Udemy and Skillshare. If you want to learn programming, there's tons of platforms like Code Academy, Team Treehouse, etc. Number 4 is to reduce your location ties and expenses. So when you're just starting out as a digital nomad, you don't want to have lots of expenses, especially if it's like a location dependent cost, like a gym membership, for example. If you will be traveling all over the world, that is so useless to have. So for example, if you have a car, it might be a good idea to sell it, maybe even Netflix membership. What expenses you have, take a look at previous month's bank statements, see what you're spending your money on, and try to eliminate as much as possible. Also think about what you're going to do with the place where you're staying. Are you going to rent out your place on Airbnb, a long-term rent? Are you just going to keep it because you don't want people to come into your house? Are you going to sell your place? All these things are things you need to think about early on when you want to become a digital nomad. Step 5, get paid. So there are 3 paths you can take: freelancer, online business, or a remote job. So most digital nomads start out as a freelancer. So they will sign up for platforms like Upwork, Freelancer, People Per Hour, Fiverr, and they will sell their skill, whether that is translation, copywriting, programming, social media management. You can also build your own website and have it there, and then you can drive ads, so traffic through ads to your website and get people sign up for your services that way. It's a very easy way to get started as a digital nomad. However, you are trading your time for money, which is not ideal in the long run. The other option is to start an online business. And this is again another way to make your work a bit more passive, because that means that you can hire people to do things for you. Maybe, for example, let's say you hate graphic design, or you hate programming, or you hate sales, then you can outsource these things to other people, so you can just spend your time on things that you really enjoy doing. And you can hire people for really, really cheaply on Upwork. For example, you can get a virtual assistant for, I think, $3 an hour. Can you imagine how much time you would save by hiring a virtual assistant to do all these mundane tasks for you? Starting a business is a little bit more risky, requires a little bit more capital than a freelancer, but if you're willing to start the risk, you can go ahead and start with a business straight away instead of going the freelancer route first. Some common online businesses to start as a digital nomad is dropshipping, which is that you have an online store, but you don't have your own warehouse with the stuff. So you have a supplier, and every time someone orders something on your website, the supplier will send the product to the customer themselves. So it's less risky than having an online shop with your own warehouse. Another common digital nomad business is being a social media agency. So you can have yourself or someone else help companies to manage their social media accounts. And the third option is just to get a remote job. So this is the one that is most similar to the 9-to-5. It has the stability of a 9-to-5, that you have a contract and you get a fixed salary, you work 9-to-5. So it's a very stable, non-risky option. However, do keep in mind that when you travel around the world, you will still have meeting in the time zone of where you live. So it might mean that you have like meetings in the middle of the night, but it's a safe option. So where can you find remote jobs? Well, there are many job boards online. You have a We Work Remotely, Flex Jobs, or you can just search on a big search engine like Indeed for the profession, and then plus remote or work from home. And you can see what pops up in your country. There's also Jobspresso, Working Nomads, and Remote OK. Step number 6, decide on a location. So this will be very much an individual taste, but some criteria or some things that most digital nomads value are fast internet, safety, weather, right? Most digital nomad wants to be in Thailand or Spain or in sunshines, and low cost of living. So where can we find all these? Chiang Mai has been said to be the digital nomad capital of the world. It has a great digital nomad community, and they have the Nomad Summit conference there every year, and it's just really cheap. You can get a massage for like $5 or less, and a great night market. I can highly recommend Chiang Mai, Thailand. Another popular one is Canggu in Bali. Also low cost of living, slightly more expensive, but a great digital nomad community. And there you also have beaches, beautiful beaches. I just love having a sip of a coconut while I watch the beach. It's such a nice way to take a break from work. Step 7 is to keep educating yourself. So learning never ends as a digital nomad. You can't just say, I'm fully learned, I'm a fully fledged nomad and I will never need to learn again, like some office jobs, right? It's an ever-changing landscape. If you work in marketing, the marketing trends will always vary. The Google will change their algorithms. So you always have to keep learning and growing. I also recommend that you find your community. Maybe join digital nomad events like the Nomad Cruise, the Nomad Train, Nomad City in Las Palmas, I think. Yeah. Co-working, co-living retreats like Work Wonders or Work Action, which I can highly recommend if you want to travel with other nomads instead of traveling solo. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye.